Greetings, and welcome to the Central Florida Commission on Homelessness Point-in-Time Count, led by its lead agency, Homeless Services Network of Central Florida. I am Rashad Haynes, the Continuum of Care Program Coordinator for Homeless Services Network. We're excited that you decided to volunteer for this year's count. We're hopeful that watching this brief training video will provide you with the tools needed to go out and survey on the days of the count. We have 4 simple goals for the pit count. 1, conduct the most complete and accurate count possible. 2, provide an estimate that accurately reflects the unsheltered homeless population in our community. 3, bring awareness and build knowledge of the unsheltered homeless population within our community. And 4, to understand our unsheltered population and collect valuable data to assist in local planning efforts around the issue of unsheltered homelessness. Who are we counting in this count? We're counting those experiencing unsheltered homelessness only. Those are people with living situations that are unfit for human habitation. Those could be woods, parks, cars, or streets. How will volunteers help? Here's where you come in. First, we're asking that you complete this brief training. Then, watch the video on how to access and use the electronic survey through Hyperion. Then, survey those experiencing unsheltered homelessness in the course of your daily operations or as they seek out services. Safety first. HUD always wants to make sure the enumerator is considering their safety first. During the COVID-19 pandemic, HUD published the HIC and PIT safety considerations. Those safety considerations are still valid. We're including a link here, and we're asking that you review those at your leisure and that you follow them on the days of the count. Hi, I want to touch briefly on some special circumstances for veterans. If you're out counting and the respondent indicates that they're a veteran and unsheltered, HSN has a point of contact through the VA. That person is Stephanie Mole. Stephanie's number is 407 319 8735. Again, 407 319 8735. What we're asking of the enumerator is that in the event that they encounter someone who identifies as a veteran and is unsheltered, that they call Stephanie. Stephanie is then able to have a conversation and be able with the person and be able to assess and determine eligibility. In some instances, Stephanie may even be able to connect that person with some same-day services. No promises can be made here. So we're asking that you please not make promises of same-day services. But in some instances, Stephanie may be able to offer some. What we do not want is for enumerators to simply pass Stephanie's number along to survey participants. We do not need that, and we're please asking you not to give the participant Stephanie's number. Instead, simply call Stephanie, and Stephanie will then be able to simply assess and determine eligibility over the phone. Finally, if you watched this video and you still feel you need some additional information, we made a second video available. In that video, you will be walked through the electronic survey. You'll be walked through the questions, and that way you can familiarize yourself with the survey. This should provide you even more confidence and so that you're ready for the days of the count. Finally, we want to say thank you for volunteering and happy counting.
The first thing to do is go to pitcounter.com. When you go to pitcounter.com, you're going to come to this screen where it's going to ask you for a code. You'll get this from the people organizing your pit count. Then it's going to ask you for your name and phone number. It's only there so that they can reach out to you in the case that there's an issue. Once you log in, you'll come to a screen like this. There's a map that will show your current location and an outline of the COC or the region that you're responsible for surveying. And you can see where you're currently located, just to make sure you don't go outside. On the Settings tab, you could also update the survey code, but this is the main screen you're concerned with. When you're ready to survey someone, just click Start Survey, then click Continue for Share Your Location. It might take a second. Then this custom location field you can mostly ignore. If you do want to include additional information like a landmark where you are, you can click this and then, or tap it and fill out the custom location, but most of the time you won't have to worry about it. When you're ready, click Start. At this point, you're going to fill out the questions by asking the person you're surveying and filling them out each time. Sometimes the survey will end early. So this question, have you completed the survey earlier today? If you say yes, and then click here and then click next, it's going to immediately exit because we don't want to include duplicate information. So don't be thrown off if something like that happens. So another thing that you'll see is sometimes additional questions will appear. So if I say jail, hospital, or treatment program, then it's going to ask me a follow-up question. Again, don't get thrown off by that. That's everything working fine. This is an important question, and it's kind of special. What it says is complete the following information for each other person in the household. Click Add New at the bottom to add a new person. So when you click that, it's going to pop up a bunch of additional questions, and that's for each member of the household that's not the head of household. So if one person is with 2 or 3 other people, you should click this for each additional person and fill out all the answers. And then the last part has some notes for any additional information you want to fill out. When you're done, you click Complete. You should get a notification that says Upload Successful, and then you should see a past survey here listed with a check mark. If you see something else, like an X, that means that the survey hasn't been uploaded yet.
Here are the 5 steps to follow to complete the survey. First is to introduce yourself following the sample script on the website. Next is asking the participant, have you been surveyed this week? And if you don't mind, can I ask where you stayed last night? If their housing situation sounds precarious or uncertain, continue with the survey. If the respondent refuses to, don't coerce them. Let them know that they can decline answering any question or the whole survey at any time. If a respondent stops midway through, but you have confirmed the person is unhoused and unduplicated, stop the survey but submit the information you have. Then end the conversation by thanking them for their time. Some reminders while you're doing the pit count. You can proceed without a name, but you can also ask for nicknames or initials. You can proceed without a full name if they refuse, but you do need an age as well. Skip questions if the person is uncomfortable answering, and mark the question as DK for don't know or REF. Politely end the survey if you feel uncomfortable or threatened. Thanks, that's all I have for now is an example of a disengagement phrase. Be mindful of the time and gently refocus and continue the survey if you get deep into conversation. And be ready to read the full list of possible responses to each question if needed. Accept responses at face value. Don't question the validity of someone's answers. An additional thing to know is safety. Know your team lead's name and have their cell phone number. Carry your ID. Leave your personal belongings behind. This includes jewelries, purses, earrings, etc. Wear comfortable shoes and clothing. Nothing too flashy. Wear a bright or light colored t-shirt or agency shirt for easy identification. Refer a person to 211 for assistance and services. Stay within eyesight of your teammates. Never offer rides or money or your personal information to anyone. If you are a direct service worker, you can provide your business card. as an option for them to reconnect. And empathy is your best bet to de escalate. Next is the approach. When approaching our neighbors, you may interact with individuals who have mental health disorders, identify as veterans, or be identified as youth and young adults. You will hear from our lived experience specialists who work with us on a regular basis and proper ways to approach individuals who may identify as this.
Hi, my name is Joanne Minucci, and I have personal experience of being out there homeless, living in the woods for 15 years. And I came across a lot of people with mental health issues. I'm also dealing with one on an everyday basis. The thing is with him is patience. Sometimes it's hard to approach him because he zones out a lot. So I don't run out of patience. I'm very calm with him. And I just give him that space that he needs, but I just give him the time to connect with me and show him that I'm waiting on him to connect with me as well. You know, they just are going through a lot, so it's hard to understand exactly what they're going through. But the compassion, that's where the compassion sets in. And you just, I know from personal experience, just, to approach them in a way that you would want to be approached. You don't want to put yourself in harm's way. So if you get a feeling like it's not appropriate at that time, step back and then reconnect maybe on a later time. You know, it's not worth getting yourself in all kinds of trouble, but there are ones out there that you could connect to. I guess you got to use your common sense, and your feeling.
When you encounter a neighbor who's a veteran, remember that this population tends to be more sensitive to large groups. So when you try to approach with groups of 2 or 3. They also have a tendency to not be, not like loud noises and banging because of a lot of experiences being in the environment that they're currently living in. A lot of that stuff is unpredictable and it affects them. Be mindful of where you're stepping. What appears to be trash to one may be a prized possession to another. Just because it looks like a piece of paper or balled up wad to the side doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is. Because, again, these people don't have a lot, and where you're living is their home. So it's the equivalency of being in their living room. Remember, when you approach, your body language is vital because 80% of what you say does not come out of your mouth. Have a relaxed body position or body posture. Remember not to block somebody off or stand in front of them with your arms crossed. Try to make sure you leave space between you and them and allow them to always see the exit, because then they know that you're not blocking them in there, especially when there's multiple people with them. If you notice somebody sitting down when you walk in, try and crouch down near them, but don't sit and expose yourself as well, because you don't want to be standing over somebody, looking down to them, talking to them, offering assistance.
When engaging an individual who identifies as a youth and young adult, you want to consider that this population may not look like the stereotypical image of homelessness. Their age range is 16 to 24 years old, and they may ask questions about the purpose of the count. This is where you can use your frequently asked questions one pager. And always approach in a friendly manner and be casual in the approach as well. Tips to remember when you are doing your pit count: approach in a friendly manner and with compassion. Announce yourself from a distance. Lead the conversation without judgment. Be direct and honest about your intentions. Be mindful of personal space and exits. Remove items that cause noise, keys, for example. Wear casual clothing and closed-toed shoes. Enter spaces with 1 to 2 additional people. Don't force answers from people who do not want to participate in the survey. And please do not pet any animals. These animals may be service animals, and some may be reactive.